everyone, welcome to Deadline Northeast, a program that gives you an overview of the developments in India's Northeast region. I'm your host Kairim Zimek, and here are the top stories of today's program. Defence Minister inaugurates 44 bridges built by Border Roads Organisation, including sensitive areas of Northeast. Assam's Kamakhya temple reopens after a gap of 6 months. Glimmer of hope for Manipur weavers as work resumes post-lockdown. In a boost to border connectivity, 44 strategic bridges built across the country by the Border Roads Organizations were inaugurated recently by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, reiterating the government's commitment to boost development activities in border areas. Singh said that progress of all projects are regularly being monitored and adequate funds have been allocated for timely execution.
Heralding in a new era in the connectivity of roads and bridges in sensitive areas close to western, northern and northeastern borders, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh recently dedicated 44 new bridges built in 7 states and union territories by the Border Roads Organizations. Built in the strategic important areas of Arunachal Pradesh, Ladakh, Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, these bridges would contribute towards the overall economic growth of remote border areas and will also assist in the speedy deployment of armed force in important sectors.
आज बॉर्डर रोड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन द्वारा बनाए गए 43 पुलों के एक साथ उद्घाटन और अरुणाचल प्रदेश में नेचिपुर टनल के शिलान्यास के अवसर पर आप सभी के बीच उपस्थित होने पर मुझे बेहद खुशी हो रही है। एक साथ इतनी संख्या में पुलों का उद्घाटन और टनल का शिलान्यास अपने आप में मैं मानता हूं कि एक बहुत बड़ा रिकॉर्ड है। 7 राज्यों तथा केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों में स्थित ये सारे ब्रिज कनेक्टिविटी और डेवलपमेंट के एक नए युग की शुरुआत करेंगे।
Singh also laid the foundation stone for the Nichipu tunnel in Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh via video conferencing. This 450 meters long bi-lane tunnel would ensure all-weather connectivity across Nichipu Pass, beside providing safe and secure passage through accident-prone areas. The Chief Ministers of Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Chief of Defence Staff Bipin Rawat, Army Chief M.M. Narawane and Union Minister of State Dr. Jitendra Singh were present at this ceremony. 8 of these bridges are in Ladakh, Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh. Another 10 of these bridges are in Jammu and Kashmir, and it will improve road connectivity to the line of control with Pakistan. 4 of these bridges are in Sikkim and Punjab, and the remaining 2 bridges that are open to public now are in Himachal Pradesh.
इनके निर्माण से हमारी पश्चिमी, उत्तरी और साथ ही साथ नॉर्थ ईस्ट के दूर दराज के इलाकों में मिलिट्री और सिविल ट्रांसपोर्ट में निश्चित रूप से बड़ी सुविधा मिलेगी।
The nearly 290-kilometer long road will be crucial for the movement of troops and heavy weaponry into the frontier bases of the Ladakh region and will provide a crucial link to the Kargil region. These bridges have been built at a cost of 286 crore rupees.
As COVID-19 lockdown restrictions are being eased out across the country, with opening up of malls and theatres, places of worship have also opened their doors for the devotees. Devotees from across the country have started visiting the famous Kamakhya temple in Guwahati as the temple complex has reopened after months of restriction. Have a look.
With the onset of the festival season, temples across the country are also opening up with necessary COVID-19 precaution norms. Adhering to the social distancing norms, devotees donned traditional attires, offered prayers inside the Kamakhya temple of Guwahati after a gap of 7 months. Under the district administration's guidelines, the Kamakhya Devalaya Management Committee decided to open the doors of the Devalaya complex to enable the devotees to perform parikrama or holy rounds of the temple from 11th of this month. A maximum of 500 devotees can be accommodated for parikrama per day. The gates are set to remain open from 8 am till sunset. However, the timings are expected to change during the upcoming festival of Navratri or Durga Puja.
आज से मंदिर खोल दिया है, लेकिन कुछ नियम पालन करके ये आना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अभी भी कोविड का जो प्रभाव हट नहीं गया है हमारा देश से या हमारा प्रदेश से। इसलिए जो लोग आएंगे प्रशासन से या हमारा जो स्वास्थ्य विभाग है उन लोग से एक कैंप बनाया है नीचे, इस पहाड़ी के नीचे। वहाँ में जाके जो श्रद्धालु लोग आएंगे वो लोग वहाँ पे अपना कोविड टेस्ट करेंगे। अगर निगेटिव हो सके तो होने से आके माता का मंदिर परिक्रमा करने जा सकेंगे।
Devotees were seen wearing face shields at the temple as they followed the government-led protocols of going through the thermal screening and sanitization chamber at the main gate. With hundreds of people visiting the Neelachal hill to offer prayers to Goddess Kamakhya, the government has allotted a maximum time of 15 minutes to each devotee to take holy rounds in the temple premises. As per the protocols, the devotees will have to collect an entry card from Anas Kshetra office situated in front of Chinnamasta or Kameswar Mandir and proceed to the Devalaya complex.
It's a great opportunity to us, and hopefully we are very much happy that we are the first person to enter after a long time. Mandir was closed. So that's a great opportunity to me and also my boss. It's a great feeling, and I want to give a lot of thanks.
According to the set protocols, the devotees are supposed to undergo rapid antigen test for COVID-19 at the medical camp organized by the head department at the Kamakhya foothill. However, children below 10 years and people above 65 were barred entry. The Kamakhya temple is a famous pilgrimage site in the country. Kamakhya finds its name from the Hindu god of love Kamadeva.
Moving on to Manipur, a scientist in Manipur has recently formulated an immune booster health drink which he claims helped build a defense system against COVID-19 virus. In an exclusive interview with Roving Report, Dr. Rajkumar shares that a corona-positive patient got better after consuming the tea. Let's listen in.
With no signs of halt in coronavirus cases, the medical scientists around the globe are in a race to find the ultimate cure for the deadly virus. At the moment, relying on herbal medicines seems to be the only cure. A scientist from Manipur, who is also a cancer survivor, is on a journey to find a solution against COVID-19. After successfully producing the hottest hybrid chili in 2018, Dr. Rajkumar Kishore has formulated an immune booster health drink, ginger tea, and a non-alcoholic beer called Three Gingers.
I gave it to one doctor patient, COVID patient, who is a medical doctor, and he said that on the first day of taking this ginger tea, his cough and the related problems, they were controlled. So that was how I think it was conceptualized, and but we have to keep further testing, even clinical trial also to confirm whether this will be an effective nutraceutical product, herbal drink against COVID or cancer, etc.
Three Gingers is a combination of 3 types of ginger, which is traditionally used for the treatment of cold, cough, flu, and many other ailments. All 3 gingers, including the common ginger, Zingiber officinale, garners rich antioxidant properties, and it also contains many health beneficial bioactive molecules.
When we have so much of the plant resources here which can avert or prevent from suffering from cancer or any other kind of disease, why can we utilize them for our protection?
Ginger is enriched with the active compound gingerol, and it contains pain-relieving, sedative, anti-fever, and it has antibacterial effects. While a strong immunity cannot be built in a day, Dr. Kishore assures that this tea will surely boost your immunity as well as heal the respiratory infections.
ꯑꯩꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯈꯅꯥꯎ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯇꯕ ꯈꯣꯠꯇꯕ ꯐꯍꯟꯕ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯁ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯕꯁꯨ ꯐꯍꯜꯂꯦ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯏꯁꯥꯗ immune booster ꯒꯨꯝꯕꯅꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯁꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯌꯨꯝ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏꯗ locally product oibanina yum mi hainabada adum isada phaba khotpa mayamna hainabada khangba thakpan
masi yamna aphaba initiative amane na lojai haidi akhoi on product si mayam mangda tholakpa ngamba haibasi masi akhoi gi state ki oina ju yamna amarom da haidi chauthok chaningai oiba pot ama oi.
Understanding the health benefits and unique taste of this product, Dr. Rajkumar is further planning to launch the alcoholic ginger beer in the international market, which he believes holds the potential of generating good foreign exchange in the state.
Let us now take a look at some of the events that made news in the Northeast recently.
Airport Authority of India recently announced that it will develop a greenfield airport at Arunachal Pradesh Holongi, 15 km away from capital Itanagar. The airport is expected to be completed by November 2022 at an estimated cost of ₹650 crore. With an area of 4,100 square meter, the new domestic terminal building of the Holongi airport will be able to handle 200 passengers during peak hours. The Assam government has recently launched a comprehensive scheme for free treatment for children below 12 years of age. While launching the scheme, Sneha Sparsha at Guwahati Medical College, Health Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said children who need surgery for critical ailment will be screened on the 10th day of every month at a hospital before surgery. Central defender Bikas Yumnam from Manipur became the first Indian to make it to the Guardians list of next generation for the best young footballers around the world. Bikas has already represented India at the 2018 AFC Under-16 Championships in Malaysia. He was also an integral part of the title-winning Indian side at the 2017 SAFF Under-15 Championships and a four-nation tournament in Serbia. With Mizoram reporting fewer daily COVID-19 cases, the state government recently decided to reopen schools for students of class 10 and 12 from October 16th. The decision was taken in accordance with the Union Home Ministry's order, which allowed states to reopen schools after October 15, depending on the COVID-19 situation in their respective states. The state government had partially reopened schools from September 21st for students of class 9 to 12, allowing them to consult their teachers on subject matters. In a recent meeting held in Mizoram, Chief Minister Zoramthanga unanimously agreed to start a full sponsorship program where selected IAS aspirants shall receive financial support from the government for a full course coaching program. Details of the programs are expected to be drafted soon. During the meeting, he commented on the importance of human resource development and economic growth and said that the state government will create opportunities for its youth to the best of its capabilities.
Situated in the lower Himalayas, Sikkim is a home to around 5,000 flower species. The atmosphere of the state offers ideal situation for the rare species like primulas, liliums and many more. Realizing the potential of this aspect, budding entrepreneurs are taking up floriculture as a source of livelihood.
Floriculture and organic farming are the norms in the states of the Northeast region. Sikkim is one of the leading states in the Northeast in the production and supply of flowers due to its rich biodiversity and pleasantly cool climatic condition. 25 kilometers away from the capital Gangtok, a farmer in Ahu village has been cultivating these alluring flowers for 12 years. A local florist, Gobin Acharya, shares that this cultivation has been an immense help in mending the financial needs of the family and earns him the annual income of around 15 lakh rupees. Gobin has employed 5 women in his residence.
शुरू में 2012 में अक्टूबर में जब हम स्टार्ट किया, इसमें 12,000 रुपये 12,000 का लगाया है। उसके बाद वो जो हमने ख़रीदा था वो 12,000 में वो मदर प्लांट, उससे कटिंग करके बालू में लगा के जब 45 से 60 दिन होता है उसके बाद उसमें रूट आने लगता है। रूट आने के बाद 4 इंची पॉट में हम लोग डालते हैं उसको, वो लीफ मोल्ड डाल के। बिल्कुल सही से चल रहा है अभी हमको कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। मेरा 8 आदमी का परिवार है, इससे मैं 2 मेरा लड़का इंग्लिश स्कूल में पढ़ता है। एकदम खुशहाल है अभी, मैं एकदम खुशहाल में हूँ।
Gobin's nursery is mainly dominated by azalea plants. Varieties of plants found in his nursery have attracted many tourists from different corners of the countries. Sikkim is home to over 26% of the country's biodiversity with exquisite species of flora and fauna.
अभी तो 10-15 हज़ार है, इससे कुछ ज़्यादा करके लाने के सोच रहा हूँ। 4 लोग काम करते हैं, 4 लेडीज़ है। वो 4 लेडीज़ दिन में 6 सप्ताह में 6 दिन तो कंटिन्यू होता है, संडे को छुट्टी होता है।
To support the farmers to showcase their floriculture skills, annually the Sikkim government organizes International Flower Festival. The journey of Sikkim into floriculture has been impressive and the government's effort in producing floriculture is commendable.
The handloom weavers of Manipur are back to work in full swing and the looms are springing back to life once again. The weavers from humble backgrounds suffered a blow during the COVID-19 lockdown. However, as the festive season is around the corner, the weavers see hope of getting the business back on track. Let's listen from the women weavers on how they are coping up post-COVID-19 pandemic. Here's more.
From Lairumphi, a scarf worn by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the critical juncture of COVID-19, these colourful Manipuri fabrics are interwoven with fables and history. The traditional skill of handloom weaving is not only a matter of pride for the Manipuris, but also an indispensable aspect of their socio-economic life. About 94% of the weavers in Manipur are women. Manipuri traditional fabrics, famous for their elegance and intricate designs, have earned a distinct place among the textile crafts in the country. Meet 53-year-old Laishram Shakhitombi, who has been in the handloom profession for more than 2 decades. The collection of traditional wear is an investment and often a treasured asset for the women in Manipur.
Dagi contact tawnaraga arapa mafam gaji phone da contact tawnaraga sida thengnaji sida lao solo hainaraga pot to thanabagi pot lama tawri sidi yamna phaba nena khalle nupi singsi phi sabata na sumoi de lupa lising thamagi lising manga ma taru umadi phi sabasina adum tan bangame hena tan basu yawe aduna sisine imung manungi mental tawbu matamda yamna mating pangi haitare yam kanai na haijeninge.
The traditional format of a loom in Manipur has a unique frame that keeps the next loom at a distance of at least 2 meters from each other. The practice of weaving is normally done in the backyards of the house or the weaving halls. Here they are weaving Nahong Phi, Phi Matek, Moirang Phi, Wangkhe Phi, Mokarani in Laishram's residence in Khongman Okram, Chithek village. Around 10 women weavers are working in her residence.
ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯐꯤꯒꯣꯜ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯣ ꯑꯅꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯣ ꯁꯥꯕ ꯉꯝꯕꯁꯦ ꯈꯔ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯍꯦꯛ ꯁꯥꯔꯤꯈꯣꯏ ꯍꯔꯥꯎꯔꯦ ꯃꯤꯅ ꯂꯧꯒꯦ ꯅ ꯐꯤꯒꯣꯜ 5 ꯄꯤꯌꯨꯕꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯁꯨꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯉꯝꯃꯒꯗꯤ ꯈꯔ ꯍꯔꯥꯎꯏ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯅꯠꯇꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯋꯥꯏ ꯂꯪ ꯇꯠꯄ ꯈꯣꯠꯄ ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯑꯒꯗꯤ ꯅꯪꯉꯔꯣꯏꯗ꯭ꯔꯥꯅ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯄꯥꯈꯠꯂꯦꯕ
Manipur is the second largest handloom producer in India after Assam. According to the All India Handloom Census 2019-2020, Ministry of Textile, Manipur ranks third with 2.1 lakh weaver households, a third of who are in the cooperative fold among the 4 states that account for 18 lakh weaver households in India.
Lang mamasu tangkhatle phangdre sagi lockdown loisangimnina dagi thiba chapagi problem su leire yompam su pharak tare.
The pandemic may have brought misery, but these women strive to weave their small success stories.
With great beauty comes great responsibility. In today's episode, let's meet a beauty pageant winner from Nagaland, Mrs. United Nations 2019, who is also the in charge of Peacekeeping Force Council of Southeast Asia. Have a look. Meet Jessica Snook, aka Mrs. United Nations 2019, who hails from Nagaland. The 33-year-old beauty queen from Nagaland's Reguri village, Phek district, is married to an army doctor from Manipur and is a mother to a 6-year-old child.
Well, I participated in beauty pageants because they not only provide married women with platforms to exchange cultural values but also to voice out for a cause which is very near to them. So I was very happy on winning the title because I was the first lady from Nagaland to have won the title of Mrs. India Earth Sapphire, and also the first maybe from the Northeast to have won both the titles of Mrs. India Earth Sapphire and Mrs. United Nations.
After getting the title of the prestigious Mrs. India Earth, Jessica later participated in Mrs. United Nations 2019, which was held in November 2019 at Lovely Professional University in Jalandhar city in Punjab. Jessica is the first woman from Nagaland to bag the prestigious title of Mrs. United Nations. From plantation drives to giving motivational speeches at schools, orphanages, homes, Jessica continues to do what she loves on a larger scale.
We as a woman after being married, we think that our life stops here. But whereas after we get married, I feel that our life begins here as we give birth to children, we have to take care of them, and that's when you get the new responsibility of being a proper woman.
Being an ambassador for the United Nations Peacekeeping Force Council for Southeast Asia, Jessica has been taking various responsibilities to promote peace around the globe amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Recently, she took up a cleanup drive at Baga Kalankud in Goa, along with the Goa United, Tito's Foundation, and various other panchayat groups. Due to the prevailing situation, the drive was organized on a small scale.
I took this initiative with the panchayat, Tito's Foundation, and the other organizations here in Goa, and Kalankud has been my first step. But we are sure that we will be moving ahead with other places, other streets to provide and to support the land so that we could keep it clean.
Every day it is clean, but there are some few pockets here and there where there is some waste. So we said we'll take this initiative with the panchayat team, with the tourism, Goa Tourism, with their waste management team, and all the staff of this lane to join us and continue this drive of cleanliness today.
Jessica says that the title of Mrs. United Nations 2019 belongs to all those who want to make this world a better place to live. With that, we have come to the end of this episode of Roving Report. Do connect with us through our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at AnyIndia_ANI. Like and subscribe Roving Report YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the latest news updates from the Northeast. I'm your host Skyrim, signing off, leaving you with the glimpses of the recent cycle rally held to popularize cycle and increase immunity during COVID pandemic. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye and take care.